Were you around in the 70s? If so, do you remember the music? And did you get your boogie on? Well, I do, and I did. Today I'm going to share with you my favorite 1970s disco albums. Let's get to it. Greetings, salutations, and what's up? Welcome to the Original Media Man Music Reviews channel. I'm your host, John F. Allen. Today I'm going to run down my favorite 1970s disco albums. The 70s were a time of afros, bell-bottoms, dashikis, disco, mood rings, pet rocks, platform shoes, polyester, 8 tracks, shag carpet, and let's not forget Watergate. I was a little kid during this decade, and one of the things besides the crazy fashions and hairstyles I vividly remember about the era was the music. Back then, the disco craze was real, and I got a front row seat to it. This wasn't my favorite genre of music, but plenty of songs from this era crossed over into funk, R&B, and soul playlists. And due to the energetic rhythms of the tracks, I couldn't help but fail miserably trying to dance to them. I'm not a dancer, y'all. Yeah, I never have been. But I tried, though. I did. Well, needless to say, but I'm going to say it anyway, my nostalgic love for these classics of the genre are endearing, and I find myself reliving them quite frequently on my playlist. Alright, well, let's get started. Number 1, the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, 1977. This might as well have been a Bee Gees greatest hits album, really, because the Bee Gees were forefront on the tracks for this album. And there were other songs on this album, but it was just like one of the most perfect disco albums that was ever created. Of course, then again, Saturday Night Fever was probably the best disco movie ever made. So I'm going to run down some of the tracks on each of the albums I've selected. The Bee Gees, How Deep Is Your Love, Night Fever, More Than a Woman, Staying Alive, Jive Talking. Yvonne Elliman, If I Can't Have You. Tavares, More Than a Woman. KC and the Sunshine Band, Boogie Shoes. Kool and the Gang, Open Sesame. The Tramps, Disco Inferno. MFSB, Mothers, Fathers, Sisters, Brothers, KG. Number 2 album is Bad Girls by Donna Summer. Donna Summer was the queen of disco, the undisputed queen of disco, and she is forever has a place in my heart. I actually really love that woman from her music, her voice, the way she looked. I mean, this is really one of the first albums that I saved up money and bought. So she was one that captured my heart. So I'm going to run down some of the songs off of that album. Bad Girls, Hot Stuff, Dim All the Lights, Sunset People. Number 3 album is Off the Wall, 1979 by Michael Jackson. So, needless to say, Michael Jackson is just probably considered the greatest entertainer in modern history. And of course he had a disco album, and of course it was one of the best because he's Michael Jackson. So I'm going to name some of the tracks off this album. Off the Wall, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, Rock With You, and She's Out of My Life. it goes without saying that that album was more than just a disco album. I mean, it was Michael Jackson's first album apart from the Jacksons as an adult solo artist, and it was awesome. I mean, you know, he showed the world who he was, and it was just the beginning. Album number 4, The Very Best of Chic, 2000. The music on this album ranges from 1977 to 1982, although the actual compilation album came out in 2000. Here's some of the tracks. Dance, Dance, Dance. Yowza. Everybody Dance. Le Freak. I Want Your Love. Good Times. My Forbidden Lover. My Feet Keep Dancing. With this album, the bass line by Niles Rodgers is just amazing. I mean, he put this band together and he's continuing to make music to this day. He's one of the funk masters. So what can you say? I mean, that music, even though it was produced in the disco era, is still endearing today to those of us who enjoy funk music. And he's still producing new music. As a matter of fact, he's on tour with Duran Duran right now and jamming his heart out. So can't go wrong with Chic. Number 5, Best of Earth, Wind and Fire, Volume 1, 1978. So anybody who knows me or personally, and as you watch my videos, you'll understand that there are two bands that are tied at my all-time favorite, and that's Queen and Earth, Wind and Fire. I put them above all else because those are the two bands whose music I never get tired of listening to, and they just did it for me. So I'm going to list some of the tracks on this particular compilation album. And by the way, I'm listing compilation albums because there was so much from different albums during that time that it just, one album just doesn't do justice to the bands. So, Fantasy, Got to Get You Into My Life, Can't Hide Love, That's the Way of the World, Get Away, September, Reasons, Shining Star, Sing a Song. Number 6, Greatest Hits of Heatwave. Compilation album came out in 1984. Heatwave was one of those bands that just epitomized the 70s funk. And they were considered the disco band because a lot of their music crossed over at that time and was played in a lot of the discos, but they were really more of a funk band. But it was during the disco era, so I am including them, and here are some of their tracks. Boogie Nights, Always and Forever, The Groove Line, Gangsters of the Groove, Mind-Blowing Decisions. Number 7, KC and the Sunshine Band, self-titled album, 1975. Now, say what you will about KC and the Sunshine Band, but they had a horn section that was out of sight. I was just jamming into them earlier today in the car. I mean, they had some really groovy, funky hits, and you can't go wrong. Again, the instrumentation for that band in and of itself, and then you layer in KC's vocals. I mean, you got a winner right there. So I'm gonna list some of the tracks. Get Down Tonight, That's the Way I Like It, Boogie Shoes. Number 8, We Are Family by Sister Sledge, 1979. Now, a lot of female groups don't get a lot of play for back in the 70s, and have an enduring career into the 80s. Some people like Gloria Gaynor had the one major hit, and then, you know, that's what they're known for. Sister Sledge came about in the late 70s and rolled over into the early 80s, and then, you know, kind of just faded out. But I feel like that they deserve recognition just because they had great voices, not to mention just the songs of the time that fit into the disco category, but just also the fact that they had beautiful voices too. So I think they were kind of underrated as performers, but here are some of their tracks. We Are Family, He's the Greatest Dancer, Thinking of You, Lost in Music. Number 9, Disco Inferno by the Tramps, 1976. Now, the Tramps were very popular during this time, and, you know, you'd hear them on the radio a lot. You know, they're best known for Disco Inferno. You know, don't sleep on the Tramps. They had a lot of energy in their music and a lot of good instrumentation. And I know it was the 70s, and some people, you know, don't like disco, but you have to give them credit where credit is due. So here's some of their tracks. Disco Inferno, Body Contact Contract, I Feel Like I've Been Living on the Dark Side of the Moon. And number 10, Thank God It's Friday soundtrack, 1978. Now this movie is special to me because it stars Donna Summer. Enough said there, but I will elaborate. Jeff Goldblum, I think he made his debut in this movie. I mean, he was a young 20-something back then. And, of course, you had appearances by the Commodores, which was an added bonus. It was a crazy movie. It was not a good movie in the sense of it being well acted or anything like that. It was kind of like a comedy. You know, back in the 70s, a lot of stuff was a spoof or satire, and you kind of rolled with it or whatnot. But it had great performances by Donna Summer and the Commodores. If you haven't seen it, check it out. You'll get a laugh, and at least you'll listen to some good music. And, you know, that's about it. I'm going to go down the list of some of the tracks. Thank God It's Friday, Love and Kisses. With Your Love, Donna Summer. Disco Queen, Paul Jabara. Find My Way, Cameo. Too Hot to Trot, the Commodores. Lovin', Livin', Givin', Diana Ross. Last Dance, Donna Summer. Love Masterpiece, Thelma Houston. And there you have it, my favorite 1970s disco albums. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, click the thumbs up button and like it. Also, to catch my latest videos as they're released, be sure to click the subscribe button in the lower right hand corner of your screen. Till next time, peace.